Hi, my name is Robert. This video is designed to give you step-by-step detailed instructions on completing the task at hand. Please read the comments in the About section of this video. It has valuable information and updates. My YouTube channel has a disclaimer video that I encourage you to watch. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found what you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. Okay, this 850 wagon, it's a base model, a 95. I had the same problem with a 95 I had. You could actually shift the car out of gear without pushing on the brake, pushing any button or anything. And basically what has happened is there's a button on the bottom of the shifter that broke loose. Here's a replacement shifter, and on the one that you've seen that just shifts around out of gear, this little pin here has broken, and when you push the button, that pin drops down and allows it to shift. So there it is. I'm pushing the button in and out, and you can see that pin dropping. So basically, I don't know any other way to fix that other than to replace the entire shifter assembly. So we pulled this one out of the salvage yard. Here's the broken pin off of that shifter. It was pulled out from the center cluster area. So basically what you have to do is you disconnect the battery, remove the center cluster, and then take everything apart from this shifter assembly, swap in the new or used one, and then put everything back together. So let's get started. So go ahead and look at the link in the About section below to see the link to removing the center console assembly. Remove that totally. Here are the tools and equipment you need to remove the center console and swap out that shifter assembly. Alright, now that you got your center console out, you go ahead and unplug this. Pull that plug off of the bracket under it. Then disconnect your light wire from under the shifter assembly. After that, you want to pull the 4 bolts out of the 4 corners of the shifter. Then there's a clip on the main shifter. You pry that up and it pops out. So I put my long hook nose, needle nose pliers and pried it and just popped this out. I had to hit it to break it loose. Next thing you have to do is pull this bracket that runs along the back side of it out. It has looks like a 10 or 12 millimeter bolts on each side of it. Alright, after you get the 2 side bolts off, lift that up. Now you have access to getting this up. Next thing you want to do is pull this cable assembly loose. Pinch it at the front with your finger and at the back and just slide it out. And after you get that slid out, put some slack in it and unhook the cable from this cable catch right there. Next thing you want to do is remove this micro switch motor. You pry this clip loose and then you slide this motor assembly out of the shifter assembly. Next thing you want to do is there's 2 clips on a pin right there. You want to release the clips on both sides of it, slide that pin through to the driver's side, and then the main cable that goes through the floor will be loose from the shifter assembly. Alright, then it comes out through the other side, and there's that pin released. Now the shifter assembly is loose from the car. Now you got to swap your micro switch over to your other assembly. And there's the micro switch removed from the shifter assembly. So now you just need to go everything in reverse order. It'd be nice if you could test your light bulb and replace it if it's bad while it's out. Light bulb bad, but we don't have a replacement. If you don't have a replacement, you could check the one that goes in the bottom of the cigarette lighter. It's the same. That one's bad. We don't have a replacement for that one either, so we'll get a couple of these light bulbs. Okay, I slid the switch in place. I put the motor in place. I put the wire harness in the bracket. Now I'm going to put the clip on it to lock it, the motor into place. You want to slide the shifter in place and put that shaft through there and pin it into the thing. It's okay to put the motor in before you do that because the pin just slides in one way, but you got to have the motor out to get the pin out. Okay, I got the shaft up through there. I put the pin in it. Now I'm going to flip it over this side and hook up the cable, and then I'm going to plug in that wire there. Then I'm going to push that shaft through the handle and put the retaining pin in it. Alright, to get this cable locked in here, the gear shifter is going to need to be in park so that this will be able to move. So put it in park, hook the cable up, then lock the cable in place. Okay, once you get this thing hooked up, you may have to put the key in the ignition, turn the ignition on, and put your foot on the brake to shift this back so that you can slide that cable in and put the retaining ring on it, and then put the shifter down on its mounts to install the bolts. Now that everything's hooked up, go ahead and put your bracket back in place. After the bracket's in place, you go ahead and put your center console back in. Okay, you can get the first two bolts started and snugged. Then before you put the rear bolts in, you got to put your bracket back in place. So go ahead and put your bracket in place, and then those rear bolts go through the bracket. After you get all 4 bolts started, then you go ahead and tighten them down. Then after that, you put your center console back in. If you feel that this information was beneficial, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can also subscribe to my channel so that you can get notification of future videos that I post. Visit my channel. I have all types of do-it-yourself videos there. You can leave questions here and I'll try to respond to them as quick as possible. You can also visit my website at robertspinner.com. Thanks again for watching.